This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, find out how Bill Clinton's visit to Grand Forks inspired students.
See how students are enjoying record temperatures in the FM area.
MSU Moorhead's athletic department receives a generous donation from a local company.
See how having a sweet tooth can lead to a sweeter personality. Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Lorelei Lofsgaard.
And I'm Chelsea Smith. Former President Bill Clinton returned to Grand Forks, making his first visit since the flood of 1997.
This time he's here to throw his support behind a different cause. Reporter Ezra Vandenighty tells us how his visit inspired some college Democrats.
15 years after coming to help rescue Grand Forks from devastating floodwaters, Bill Clinton returned with a new purpose.
It's amazing how Grand Forks has come back since then.
What makes a community a place to live in is not the buildings, it's the people. Water cannot wash that away, and fire cannot burn that away, and a blizzard cannot freeze that away.
Following a dramatic reminder of Clinton's 1997 visit, an enthusiastic crowd welcomed the former President of the United States, here to rally support for Democratic Senate candidate Heidi Heitkamp. Some NDSU college students made the trip to Grand Forks to observe the nomination process.
I thought it was really interesting listening to the candidates speak. I thought Heidi Heitkamp did a great job. It's really interesting to hear what she has to say, and Clinton gave a great speech as well, so it was really nice to have him endorse Heidi Heitkamp for U.S. Senator from North Dakota.
You need to send Heidi to the Senate.
She speaks from the heart, and I feel like Rick Berg kind of speaks more from his bank accounts.
I very much enjoyed listening to Heidi, being a fellow Mandanite. It was cool to see her.
As our candidate for the office of the United States Senate.
It was cool to see such overwhelming support for one person.
In 2008, both Zachary and Jackson Fowler were delegates for the state convention.
I think it's huge to get the point of view of people from our age group. We're the future of the state, and as college students, most of us are going to be out looking for jobs.
I remember in the election in 2008, they said that our age group could actually be the determining factor for the election. If everyone voted, we could decide the outcome.
Heitkamp will either be facing Republican Dwayne Sand or Rick Berg in the statewide election this fall. In Grand Forks, Ezra Vandenighty, Campus News.
During Clinton's visit, he also stopped by some of the areas that have been repaired since the flood. Trading in snow boots for flip-flops is what many students are doing this past week at MSU Moorhead. Reporter Aristides Serrano gives us a look at how students are enjoying the nice weather.
It's finally spring, and MSUM students are taking full advantage of what the outdoors has to offer. Students have been spending these last few days outside, not having to worry about the cold. Even though this past winter wasn't bad, students are still happy for this warmth.
I love spring. It's always a good time to get outside, get outdoors. You're always cooped up during the winter, so it's a good time to go for a walk, go for a jog.
Spring fever is catching on throughout campus, and student Taylor Mretter is no exception.
I'm excited that it's spring and I can wear a tank top outside and it's nice out and the yard's gonna start to fill up.
The feeling is mutual among many other students at MSUM.
Good, kind of warm.
I enjoy it. I get to go outside without a jacket.
It is amazing.
Some students are taking their indoor activities outdoors.
It's good for everyone else because I get to get outside and sit and do homework outside and stuff.
A mild winter has led to a sensational start to spring. Aristides Serrano, Campus News.
The warmest March for Fargo happened in 1910 when the average temperature was just above 40 degrees.
A study shows alcohol-induced injuries are costing college students more than $500,000 a year at universities with 40,000 or more students. The study at the University of Wisconsin-Madison included about 950 college students who are considered heavy drinkers. The study shows that 30% of males and 27% of females went to the emergency room at least once. Their injuries range from broken bones to head and brain injuries. The study shows that students who experience more than 6 alcohol-related blackouts per year are 70% more likely to be treated for injuries due to drinking. The election battle has begun at North Dakota State University to find their new student body president. Reporter Callan Klein is there to fill us in on all the campaigning craziness.
Are you? Voting is very important.
Buttons, shirts, really it's up for the candidates to decide, but
all of that was released and kicked off yesterday at noon.
It's a full-time job. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the challenge.
Luke Broder and Jay Spieler are the names. I'm part of their campaign team. I really think they're the most experienced group, and I definitely support them. I think they're great individuals, and they have a lot of experience and a well-rounded background to lead the student body.
Crazy, yeah. It's like last night, I think they had 8 organizations that they went and spoke to separately, and they pitched their platform and give handouts, and so they keep really busy. You got people who are supporting you, people who aren't. You go through quite a bit, and then you've got school still happening. You got trying to take care of yourself, eating right, getting sleep. You know, so it's a crazy time. So I think just educating them on what to expect.
Even though the election road may be uncertain, the passion that drives these candidates comes from within.
I felt my heart was in the right place, and I felt I was ready to lead the student body and become student body president.
We'll get to see our candidates just kind of talk to anyone who wants to be in attendance and answer some questions about their platform and see them think on their toes and just really give from the heart answers.
Here at NDSU, even Thundar is excited about the student body elections. Show them how excited you are.
Hey, Thundar! All right!
With photographer Ezra Vandenite.
Perfect timing, hey!
This is Callan Klein, Campus News.
The student body election will take place on April 3rd and 4th.
After the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, a jury has now found Virginia Tech guilty of negligence. The college was facing lawsuits from the parents of 2 of the 31 people killed on April 16, 2007. The wrongful death civil lawsuit argued their children's lives could have been spared if school officials had more quickly alerted the campus after gunman Sung-Wee Cho shot the first 2 victims. The state argued the university did all it could with the information it had at the time. The jury sided with the parents and awarded $4 million to each of the families. But the state immediately filed a motion to reduce the amount because state law says awards must be capped at $100,000, which jurors weren't aware of. One class is helping students who want to be firefighters, nurses, or police officers. FM Ambulance teamed up with the tri-colleges in the FM area to offer a class that will help students get prepared for the future. Photojournalist Christy Larson gives us an inside look at the program.
But who has to take the patient to the hospital?
I love it. I've learned so much about emergency medicine already in EMT class. This is the first time I've heard of like an actual ambulance service offering a schooling program.
It's really a very practical, hands-on.
That's actually how I teach it, is they actually have to do it right away. I don't tell them how. We walk through it and we learn how to do it right away with their hands. And that way they remember it a little bit more.
But she doesn't need spinal support.
We learn how to backboard.
Splinting.
We learn how to do CPR.
1 breath every 5 seconds.
How to apply oxygen. Just about anything that an ambulance crew would do as far as illness or injury. We learn how to do that.
1, 2, 3.
We use all the real equipment that they use in an ambulance. So tonight we had the stretcher out, the stair chair out, and they get to play with that stuff and use it so they know what they're doing in real life when they get out there. I think it gets people hooked, actually. I think a lot of people don't know they have to do a ride-along coming in, and then they say, oh, I get to do a ride-along. We'll see what it's like, and then they go on the ride-along, and they realize this is awesome.
Love the ride-alongs. We've been able to go on ride-alongs with the real paramedics and see actual patients, and it's really awesome being able to apply your skills that you learned in class the day before to your ride-along the next day.
I just knew it was going to be a really good program. I can recommend it to anybody.
After students finish the course, they have to take the National Registry exam to become nationally certified EMTs.
The Minnesota State Colleges and University System is seeing a boom of veterans and active service members enrolling in school. In the past 3 years, the number of service members enrolling has increased almost 60%, from about 7,000 students in 2008 to nearly 11,000 in 2011. The MSU system serves more veterans and active service members than any other segment of higher education in Minnesota. Enrollment is expected to continue to increase as about 3,000 members of the Minnesota National Guard return home from their deployment in Kuwait and Afghanistan over the next several months.
To ask or not to ask is the question surrounding the recent goal of one organization. Should people be able to identify their sexual preferences on college applications? Campus Pride, the nation's leading nonprofit for lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender students, has proposed that colleges should put the question on applications and give students the option of answering. Elmhurst College in Illinois is the first school in the U.S. to add the question. Campus Pride is working with dozens of other colleges and universities to add the question to applications. The Harvard Dean of Admissions says adding the question would send a positive signal to students who are grappling with the issue of sexual orientation or gender identity.
The Fargo Film Festival rolled out its 12th year at the Fargo Theater. The festival gives college students a little taste of Hollywood and even a chance to show off their own skills among the best. Reporter Krista Boehm introduces us to one student who was given that chance.
Local film students like MSU Moorhead senior Shane McKinnon received an opportunity for their work to be shown at the Fargo Film Festival.
Do you have a favorite color? No.
McKinnon created a 15-minute black and white film called Gynoid for the MSUM screenings. After the screening, he was invited to submit his film into the Fargo Film Festival, where he received honorable mention. He also received the Rusty Castleton Student Film Award at MSUM.
The honorable mention was extremely exciting because I watched the winner for Student Best Film, and it's a spectacular film. So being honorable mention next to that was pretty ego boosting,
13, did you write this code?
Gynoid is about an industry tech company that builds artificial intelligence androids that begin to show emotion. The filming took 4 18-hour days, which was not easy, but McKinnon says everyone involved definitely played their part.
I had a really excellent cast and crew. It's the first time that I've had a huge team around me that was all dedicated to the one project, and I didn't have to pick up the slack on any aspect of filmmaking. It was the best experience in filmmaking I've had so far.
Most film students don't get the opportunity to have their film shown on a big screen so soon in their career. McKinnon says it's all about gaining that experience when it comes to a life in film. With photographer Steve Kim, Krista Boehm, Campus News.
Each year, the Fargo Film Festival averages more than 150 film submissions from 28 states and 12 countries. This year, there were only 5 student entries.
College years have long been associated with poor diet and little exercise, but cholesterol is not a concern for NDSU students who choose to eat off a new menu in the Dining Center. The new lighter side kiosk in NDSU's Residence Dining Center gives students the option to eat green, adding a variety of flavors to the menu. The healthier food option, which will last until the end of the semester, is an appealing choice for students mindful of their food choices.
I pretty much eat here every time now, and I don't feel gross when I'm done eating.
The new food option was brought on by students who expressed ideas for healthier mealtime options. Depending on how well the new menu is received by students, the lighter side could be a permanent addition to the Dining Center's menu.
In today's visual society, self-esteem can be influenced by the smallest stimulant, but MSU Moorhead students are learning to respect their bodies and themselves, big or small. Reporter Zach Denzer has more.
National Eating Disorder Awareness Week offered opportunities for students to understand the impact that body image objectification and abuse have on individuals.
I did find out that 1 in 6 men have eating disorders today, which is kind of crazy.
Billy McDonald, marketing coordinator for the Dragon Entertainment Group, says he believes the largest concerns with body image perceptions are the effects on companionship.
The biggest problem is the lack of brotherhood and human respect for each other to accept what we look like no matter what shapes or size.
Contorted body image perceptions, student Russell Ferguson believes, can be attributed to the stream of skewed content from the media.
It's definitely the media. There's so much advertisement around, and it's constantly bombarded with pictures of women who are really skinny and no fat on them at all. It's not fair.
Among the techniques that students learn to maintain bodily self-esteem were acknowledging and appreciating the good parts of one's body.
I think the best thing that we can do when we look at body image is to understand, to not compare, to look at your own self and say, I appreciate my beautiful eyes. I appreciate the walk that I have. I appreciate the art skills that I have. I appreciate, the friends and family that love me for who I am.
Limit the amount of times you weigh yourself, because it's not about a number. It's about the consistency of that number too. So eating right, pick a healthy selection of foods, and also exercise. Exercise is the most critical tool that anybody can do to keep themselves healthy.
Zach Denzer reporting for Campus News.
The ultimate goal of MSUM's Eating Disorder Awareness Week is for students to learn that a person's body size doesn't matter, just the size of their character.
MSUM created a life-size Barbie doll to help spread the word about an illness impacting 10 million women and 1 million men. The full-scale iconic doll appeared at the Mega Zumba party at the Wellness Center as part of National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. Reporter Yvonne Soleil tells us more.
Student organizers displayed the Barbie doll to visually bring attention to her unrealistic proportions.
Barbie life size would be 5'9". She would have a 40-inch bust. She would have a 19-inch waist, which is, it's not possible. However, we're being told that's what the women in our society is supposed to look at.
A survey funded by the National Eating Disorder Association found 4 out of 10 people have struggled themselves or known someone who has. One MSUM student at the Mega Zumba party says being involved in an event like this has personal ties.
I just know someone, and I know she struggles with it still, and I'm always there for her to help her with it, but you can only do so much.
Whether students dance for fun or to support family and friends, organizers were glad to have so many people attend.
We had about 90 people here doing Zumba. It was really, really sweet from the balcony. They looked down at everybody. And everyone was having such a great time too, and it was awesome.
The dance party was set up to introduce healthy exercise habits, but for one student organizer, the importance of bringing awareness to this illness hits home.
Just to see the things and see the trials that my friends went through and the things that they suffered through, I just can't imagine letting that continue.
MSUM students led a week-long focus on eating disorder awareness. With photographer Bryce Haugen, Yvonne Soleil, Campus News.
The National Institute of Mental Health reports 10% of college-age women have or are affected by an eating disorder.
In honor of Women's History Month, Concordia College is bringing in a speaker to share her story on why global funding for children is so important. Maya Amara, a social entrepreneur and children's book writer, believes small amounts of money can make a lasting impact on a child's life. To date, Maya has raised and invested $23 million in 78 countries, serving more than 7 million children. The money is used to help educate children. The presentation will be held March 26 at 7 p.m. in the Centrum at Concordia. And now we turn it over to CJ Pierre for a look at this week's sports.
So I hear MSUM is receiving a generous donation.
Yeah, that's right, and it's coming from a source that's very close to home. Sanford Health is giving a very generous gift to MSUM's athletic department. The grant is being awarded in hopes of inspiring even more donations from others in the future.
What we've decided to do is step forward with a $2 million gift, $200,000 a year that we hope is matched by great Moorhead supporters, great university supporters here, and get the scholarship level up and beyond the average in the conference.
MSUM's athletic department and Sanford Health have been working together for many years, and with this donation, the Dragons will be able to offer their athletes better scholarships as well as create more opportunities for them.
One of the things I have to go back to is the long-standing relationship between Sanford Health and Dragon Athletics. We go back 18 years and it's been a strong relationship and it's continued to grow. And I think you just have to attribute this gift to the time that we've spent together.
As can be expected, the Dragons expressed a lot of gratitude for the generous gift.
I am infinitely grateful for the difference that you are making for this university, for our students, and for our region. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woohoo!
The $2 million will be donated to MSUM throughout the next 10 years. MSU Moorhead track captain Derek Brady is MSUM's 2011 Athlete of the Year, NSIC's Athlete of the Year, and a 3-time All-American. He's managed to accomplish this with only 4 years at his craft. Reporter Robert Swanson has more.
Derek Brady is someone that this university should be very proud of.
He puts in the work and he works hard for it. I'm happy with doing the workout, surviving the workout, and going home. He's not happy until he can't walk anymore.
Working out sometimes 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, Derek Brady has a burning desire to keep improving.
I joined track for a certain somebody, and then certain somebody hurt me, and then when I got back up, I was ready to do something. Since that day forward, it's just been don't quit.
Ron Sheffield, who also helped train world-class boxer Oscar De La Hoya and Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton, says Brady has the mentality and work ethic to be great.
Oh, he's up there with the top. He is literally up there with the best of them. I would have to say he's one of the hardest workers that I've ever coached.
Brady, only a junior, has still managed to be a strong leader and benchmark for his teammates.
If I'm this close to Derek at this point in the race, it's going to be a good race.
There becomes a point where the only mental part of it has to be is you just thinking, I'm going to race you, and that's it. You're not going to think about anything else. You're just thinking, go, 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 shoot the gun, just go.
Exploding out of the blocks, Brady keeps his momentum moving full speed towards his next challenge.
That is the makings of a great athlete, to not be satisfied with what you've been doing. You always strive and wondering, is it more? Is it more I could be doing? And that's not just a great athlete, that's a great person individually.
Brady says he plans to continue running after college, but his focus is on the upcoming outdoor season where he can put his hard work on display. Robert Swanson, Campus News Sports.
Brady competed in the NCAA Division II Nationals indoor track meet where he placed 9th in the 60-meter dash. MSU Moorhead's men's basketball team makes its history in the NCAA tournament. After their last appearance in 1965, the Dragons finally made the big dance in Division II. In the first round, the Dragons bounced NSIC foe Southwest Minnesota State University 82-66. The second round featured the #1 ranked Colorado School of Mines Ore Diggers. The Ore Diggers defeated the Dragons 80-60 and advanced to the Sweet 16. The Dragons finished up the season with a 21-10 overall record. Concordia's women's hockey team's dream of winning a national championship came to an end. The Rochester Institute Tigers defeated the Cobbers 5-2 in the national quarterfinals. The Cobbers were tied 2-2 to start the third period before the Tigers scored 3 straight goals. Concordia finished its regular season with a 15-6-5 overall record and made its first ever tournament appearance. The Tigers ended up winning the Division III Women's Hockey Championship. One of Fargo's main attractions on a weekend can be found on the ice. Some of the players on the Fargo Force, our Tier 1 junior hockey team, use these opportunities to earn spots on collegiate teams. Colin Boyles tells us how they make the transition.
The drop of a puck starts a game of hockey, but for some of the players on the Fargo Force, it's just another step in furthering their hockey career. The athletes showcase their talents here in Shields Arena with hopes of earning spots on some of the top collegiate teams in America. 19-year-old Zane Gothberg earned a scholarship to play with his hometown team, the University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux in Grand Forks. After being cut from a few teams, Gothberg is using his time with the Force to prepare himself for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
This year it's definitely helped out, just playing a lot more games and seeing a lot more game action shots compared to just practicing and stuff.
Willie Corin is another athlete who committed to a Division I hockey club. The University of Minnesota Duluth decided to offer the International Falls, Minnesota native a scholarship after he played for the Force.
This year I've worked really hard on trying to get my defensive game back into it. You know, they're helping me with my defensive game a lot.
Head coach and general manager John Marks says fans might have a misconception about the players' earnings while on the team.
As much as people might think they're playing for free, they're not. You know, they're getting paid because a scholarship could be worth, what, 4-year deal could be $30,000 to $200,000.
Marks says in the near future, the Force will have a presence in the National Hockey League. For now, he is helping these young adults transition to the highest level of collegiate programs in the country. With photographer Kenny Buck, Colin Boyles, Campus News Sports.
The Fargo Force have 12 players committed to Division I schools on this season's roster. And just one note to pass along, the UND men's hockey team is set to take on Western Michigan in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The puck drops at 12:30 in St. Paul.
Well, best of luck to them.
Thank you, CJ. A North Dakota State University psychology professor has found a link between people with a sweet tooth and their personalities. Reporter Kristen Kurtz has the story.
Hi, what can I do for you guys? You look excited.
Peggy Hansen is the co-owner of The Candy Bar, a nostalgic shop. Her contagious laugh is almost as addictive as the candies she sells.
We kind of want to give that feel to people of their memories of when they were younger and going into just a candy store. Since a kid, I always love candy, and I always remember everything from my childhood, just the memories and just the nostalgic aspect of it.
In recent studies, NDSU professor Michael Robinson found a connection between sweet-toothed people and their personalities.
We had people suck on a candy or something that was not so sweet, and then we asked them to help us, and they were more likely to help us if they were sucking on a sweet candy.
All 5 of his studies show that sweet food seekers are more likely to help others. MSUM student Erin Stefani says sweets have a different but positive effect.
After I feel more sharp almost, like I can go get something done, have more energy before I have my sweet tooth fix.
A candy shop owner sees the personalities of sweet tooths every day. Hansen says they seem to be happier.
They do seem generally, the ones that come in here, they seem more excited about the candy, I guess. So if they have a sweet tooth, I guess they're, more excited about it and probably, more cheerful, I guess.
Hansen will be making personalities sweeter, one customer at a time.
And here's your candy. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping in, you guys.
Yeah.
Kristen Kurtz, Campus News.
I'll see you next time.
The study on sweets was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with more footage from the Mega Zumba party.
Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend, everyone.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the Department of Mass Communications at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.